3 specific steps to embrace and enjoy your current life. The first being, stop comparing yourself to others. So often in the past for me, I would constantly compare myself to others and I felt like shit on a daily basis because I was always comparing myself to whoever it may be, whether there's influencer online, whether it's my friends, whether it's someone I knew. I always would compare myself and I felt terrible about it. So that's the first piece you need to do, is stop comparing yourself to others. The way you can do this, the function, the behaviors that you can take to work on not comparing yourself to others, is the first being a social media detox. Specifically, just get off social media, especially Instagram, TikTok. Those ones where you see that influencer content, where you see the Lambos, you see the lifestyle, you see the vacations, you see the money. Those things can be harmful if you have a problem with comparing yourself to others. So the way that I did this is I limited my social media use, almost completely gone, or to about 15 minutes a day. On top of that, I unfollowed all influencers. So now on my feed, it's mostly just like sports, specifically UFC, and then like news. So really, I just use social media to keep me updated now, or have a good laugh, instead of looking at the influencers and looking at the person with the Lambo. Because that was my problem. I was always like, oh, look at him, he's got the Lambo, he's got the stuff like that. But the problem was that I didn't understand, and I find a lot of people don't understand, is that they don't have that picture perfect life. They have problems just like you do. That's the first piece, stop comparing yourself to others, is a social media detox. The second piece is redefining success. Specifically, what does this success mean for you? The way you can do this is to ask yourself, if I were to move 1,000 miles away, to not be around anybody I know right now, and if I was actually remote, what would success look like to me? And you probably have your rawest form, what's most important to you and what success looks like for you. Maybe success is money. That's totally okay. I know plenty of people that want success to be money. That's fine, there's no problem with that, but you wanna define what it looks like for you. On top of that, it might be experiences. It might be impact. It might be family. Whatever those things are, you wanna look at, what does success look like? Really define that, because that'll dictate your actions. And when you feel really good about the success you're having in your life and you're pursuing that success, you're not really worried about everybody else. The third and the final piece to stop comparing yourself to others is to monitor your own journey. And the way I mean this is to practice self-compassion. I don't mean self-compassion and be like, oh, yep, I love myself and I'm okay with the way I am. Because if you're truly driven to want to be a different person and accomplish shit in life, you won't feel that way. You won't feel like your current self is okay. I don't feel like my current self is okay. I feel like I need to change and upgrade and continually get better so I can accomplish the things I want to. So the way you practice self-compassion, at least the way I practice self-compassion, what works for me, is that I journal daily. The way this journal looks like is I ask myself, what did I do right? What did I do wrong, or what I need to improve? And what would my 80-year-old self tell me? What advice would he give me? And it accomplishes 3 things. It lets me build up the momentum I have and be happy with the things I've done. It tells me the things I need to improve on, and it gives me a little bit of grace, or it might tell me to be a little bit harder on myself, because my 80-year-old self knows what I want, knows me completely, and has my best intention at heart. So it's one of my favorite ways to do this and go about focusing on my own journey. The second thing you can do to embrace and enjoy your current life is to practice gratitude daily. Specifically, adopt the mindset of abundance over scarcity. When you have the mindset of abundance, when you feel like there are abundant resources and you can accomplish anything, you will act differently. Because in the past, when I felt so scarce with my money, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta protect my money, and every little purchase I made cost so much mental power, because I was like, oh, what do I need to do to make that back, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna be out of money. Whereas instead of where I operated out of abundance, be like, okay, these are the resources I have. Maybe I don't have as much money as I want, but you know what I do have? I have a lot of time. And that's where my abundance lies, my time. So that presented opportunity for itself for me to accomplish the things that I wanted. So you just wanna make that shift, and the way you can make the shift is simply just ask yourself, where do you have abundance in your life? And then you leverage that opportunity to create the thing that you may have scarcity within. The second piece is to actually practice, what is one thing you're grateful for today? Every day. That's what I like to think of myself. What's one thing I'm grateful for today? And constantly, it's my health. It's that I can see, I can walk, and I can hear. Those are things that I'm constantly grateful for. And those things are so base that it makes everything seem almost insignificant. Because I'm so grateful for that I can walk, why does it matter how much money I have? Of course, it matters in the long scheme of things, at least for me it does, but realistically in a day-to-day, it makes me feel better about things. So walking, sometimes it's just AC, it's my car, it's the money I have, it's the job I have. Whatever it is, it's practicing what is one thing I'm grateful for, And I guarantee you, you'll start to enjoy your life more and adopt that abundance mindset when you operate out of this mind frame. The third and the final piece is to shift to a growth mindset. Specifically, one way you can do this is to translate from progress over perfection. Instead of looking at yourself and being a perfectionist, be like, oh, I need to do everything right. In the past, I used to be like, oh, I got a 99 on my test. What's the 1% I missed? I was only focused on perfection. So I didn't give my credit to myself about what I was doing right. Like I mentioned earlier in the journaling, you want to ask yourself, what are you doing right? That's the actionable step you can take to get over perfectionism. Instead of focusing on what you're doing wrong, rewire. And it'll take you about 6 months. If you really struggle with perfectionism stuff, you're all so constant on the problem, so constant about what you did wrong, shift to what are you doing right. You still need to acknowledge what you need improvement on, because that's the way you get better. But you want to focus on what you're doing right, and you can start building momentum. Another question you can ask yourself to focus on progress over perfection is, instead of looking in the future, instead of having that scarcity mindset of what you don't have, look back over the last year. What characteristics are specifically different about yourself in the last year, in the last 3 years? For me, it's my output. It's my amount of work I do, the quality and quantity of my work, which is the work is the goal for me. That's what I strive for. And I got that concept from Alex Hormozi. It's the one sticky note that I have up with a quote in my office that says the work is the goal. It's a single thing that I'm focused on. And so for me, it was, leaning into that even more. That was the characteristic that's been different about me over the last 1 year, 3 years. So asking yourself, what are characteristics that are specifically different about you in the last year or 3 years or 5 years? And that can help you look at the progress over the perfectionism. The second piece within the growth mindset is recognizing challenges actually equal opportunity. Challenges are not bad. Instead of setbacks, it actually gives you an opportunity to prove yourself and grow. So instead of viewing a challenge as, oh, this is something bad, you can rewire your mind in an actionable step of saying, you know what, this is actually an opportunity for growth. That can help you make you feel a lot better what you're going through right now. A constant phrase that, again, I got from Hormozi is that this will be the story I tell. This just makes it a better story. You know what I mean? The struggles that I face, the adversity I face, just makes it a better story for me in the future. And the third and the final piece within shifting to a growth mindset is set meaningful goals based on values. So you've identified, what does success look like for you? You've redefined it. Maybe it still is money, whatever. Maybe it's excellence, maybe it's family, whatever. Once you find those things, set meaningful goals around that. And the way you can do this in areas that are really helpful is the balance wheel. The balance wheel has professional, relationships, resources, and help. The resource in the description below. I find it a pretty cool tool, and I take it every year. And so what I do is I go around those areas every quarter and I set goals around them. And it makes it really easy for me to stay in line with my values and my goals and enjoy my current life, because I know I'm pursuing the things that are important for me. And again, you want to base it upon the things that we looked about earlier. Instead of comparing yourself, instead of looking at all those things, you want to find the things that are important to you and then set goals around them, and you'll start to enjoy your current life. So that's 3 steps to embrace and enjoy your current life. If you like that video, please comment and I'll make more of them.